New from Vinegar Syndrome is The Black Room from 1982. This was one of those movies I knew nothing about, and for no particular reason whatsoever thought, I'm going to check this out first because it just sounds a little bit too weird, or looks a little bit too weird from the cover. And the story is incredibly fun. I thought I was going to get a slasher or some kind of movie like that, but this turns out to be a kind of almost erotic thriller at points, as we follow a man, a married man, who's looking for a little bit of excitement. He decides to hire this room in this kind of mansion where he can do some things with other people that's not his wife. The owners, the proprietors of this house, are a brother and sister who are indeed incredibly weird. There's just one of those feelings about these people as soon as you meet them.
What the former tenants usually did was phone first. I'm always working in my studio. If you like, I can just pop in, light the candles, pour the wine. The rest is up to you.
And as this man who's cheating on his wife with various people brings them back to this room, does all that he has to do, he's unaware that the brother of these siblings is taking pictures and watching through a two-way mirror. And you kind of get an idea of where the movie's going, and then it takes a left turn. The guy leaves his apartment, and the couple then kidnap the girl and completely drain her of all the blood. And it becomes a movie where it's kind of rinse and repeat for a little while. We watch our main character talk to random people and bring them back to his room, do unspeakable sexual acts with them, and then sometimes they demise, sometimes they don't. But it kind of repeats that, and then we kind of learn more about the married man as we see him interacting with his wife, the idea of a stale marriage. And this is where it starts to actually draw out some kind of thematics within it, which adds to the story really well, because we have a marriage in peril here. We're watching a man who is cheating on his wife, getting his kicks outside of the family home, having his cake and eating it until his wife finds out about it.
I don't believe how much you've changed.
Well, we both have. We had to. Our sex life was a mess.
Right. I saw that and I tried to do something about it.
Well, God, you did.
And this is where the movie took a really fun twist for me. And it's not really a twist, just a different kind of arc later on, where she starts to act similarly to the husband, and there's an almost falling out between those two because they're both playing each other at the same kind of game. And all the way through this, you've got the brother and sister who are just consistently murdering people all the way through it. The Black Room was a kind of fun movie. It felt very sleazy, very low budget. It's got some great cast in it. A young Christopher McDonald turns up. Linnea Quigley appears at the end as a babysitter. There are some really kind of startling moments in it as well. Some of the sequences with the blood just churning and pulling out of people as they slowly die can be quite haunting in a practical way. It just feels perfunctory, an act that is happening. As you watch somebody's life ebb away, being pulled away, it can be quite stark in that. There is moments later on with children in peril, and it generally feels as if something bad could happen to these kids, as if something bad will happen to these kids, and it just puts you on that icky back foot going, I'm not too sure if I'm entirely comfortable with this one. And it kept adding these different bits into it, these different nasty elements that elevated the story, elevated the thematics, elevated the tension, and it went from one that I was merely enjoying into a rousing final third where I was really excited about what was happening. The Black Room was a bit of a surprise. I'm not entirely sure I was fully expecting this to be as terrific as it was, to have those kind of rich thematics, to have that kind of exploitative nudeness and sexual desire all the way through the beginning of the film. It's low budget, and it does look at certain parts to be low budget, but the effort behind it and the thought behind it definitely elevates it. It's one of the better ones I've seen from Vinegar Syndrome. One that I would definitely say, check it out. It's a little bit different, a little bit odd, and worth watching. I would love to know your thoughts on The Black Room if you've seen it, whether you loved it, hated it, fell somewhere in the middle. Let me know in the comment box below. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff if you're interested. And in the description box below are links to the Patreon membership programme and manvfilm.com, all ways in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.